Islam Week launch. This has been part of the London School of Economics Student Union Islamic Society. They've had an innovative idea to show unity in diversity by getting the student union, academics and the like, and students to form the word Salam, which means peace in Arabic, outside the LSE Library, the momentous building. And we're going to get an aerial photograph taken from the top of the S building when we form the Salam. So if you just go back to the photographer. So what I'm going to do shortly, first we're going to go on to the introductions. We've been delighted to have these speakers present. We have Howard Davies, Abdul, Bari, Joe Swinson, Baroness Abdul Murad Qureshi. They're going to go on to talk a bit later about what's happening. Then at 1:50, I'm going to ask everybody present, have you all got your tickets? Yeah. Everybody got their tickets? Everybody know which letters they're in? Fantastic. I'm going to ask you to start the formation. The letters are here. If you just get in nice single file lines, we're all old now, hopefully we'll know what we're doing. And start forming the word Salam. And then at 2 o'clock, the photographer is going to take the picture. So it's going to be at 2 o'clock, he's going to take the picture. And to mark the occasion, I want everyone in a nice loud voice to scream Salam, which means peace. All smiley faces, the photographer is going to take the picture. After the picture's taken, we're going to debrief, say thank you, and then the event's going to end on a high note, hopefully. Right, okay.
I wanted to welcome this initiative. It's very timely, probably accidentally. I don't know if you've seen newspapers and the radio this morning. It's full of a new survey on opinions among Muslims in the UK, which is not too great in the sense it suggests that younger Muslims feel less part of Britain than older ones, which is a rather depressing conclusion. So in one sense that's a depressing background, but in another sense it demonstrates the importance of the kind of activities that the Islamic Society is undertaking this week. It sounds like a really good program. I know you've got Ragni Omar, I think tomorrow, and even Chinese Islamic calligraphy, which is an exotic addition to the program. But I think the general idea that within this school community, the Islamic Society should make a big effort to communicate with others is great. It's very important. As you know, universities have been coming under a bit of pressure with reports from Parliament and Universities UK and the Home Office about extremism, etc. I've asked my deputy, Ray Richardson, to look at all of these reports with the Students' Union to see what we can get out of them, whether there's anything we should be doing. But I think what's most important is that we build the LSE's global community and build the kind of personal links of understanding that we can do within our own community. So thank you, and thanks also to the Metropolitan Police, whose helicopter didn't just hover over me while I spoke. I hope I've not gone on too long, because I know your program's very tight. Thank you all for coming, and congratulations to the Islamic Society on a great district.
I think the theme that you have already taken is the diversity, unity in diversity. And in fact, this is our Islamic teaching. Quran, in one of the verses of Surah Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that in many of the verses. So this is in fact a religious ethos that human beings are different, but they are united in common purpose. So what Islamic Society is doing in here is wonderful occasions, and I feel proud to be here. And it's a wonderful peace and salam are the messages. And sometimes this message is lost in the politics, in global war and terror, and many things. But hopefully, from this humble beginning, we can start spreading this salam or peace. So salam and peace from Muslim Council of Britain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah once again.
It was about 10 years ago that I arrived at LSE as a fresher, and coming from Glasgow in Scotland, which is predominantly white, coming to somewhere as diverse as LSE was a real eye-opener for me. And throughout my degree here, I came to realise that in fact that is one of the fabulous strengths that LSE offers. There's diversity in terms of religions, in terms of nationality, and you just need to take one look at the list of societies in the Students' Union to see there's a diversity in terms of what people like to do in their spare time as well. And I think it's incredibly positive that we've got this Discover Islam Week being run by the Islamic Society. Having gone into politics, it's clear to me that we haven't quite cracked it yet in terms of a perhaps smooth relationship between Islam and our political system at the moment. And you just need to look at Jack Straw's comments just last year regarding the wearing of the hijab to recognise that there are still lots of sensitivities there. But when I speak to, albeit a small number of young Muslims in my constituency, there's a great sense of frustration. There's a frustration that, in a sense, their wonderful religion, in the eyes of the media and sometimes too much in the eyes of the public, is being warped. And the expressions that you see are of the guy in John Reed's press conference. Or when there's protests, they don't show the pictures of the peaceful protests, they show the ones with the most inflammatory placards. And this sends out the wrong message about Islam. And that's why what's happening here in LSE this week is so positive, it's so necessary, because through combating the ignorance which leads to fear, we can actually create a society where we celebrate the diversity. That's something I think which LSE does and has a proud history of doing. And so it's absolutely right.